Here, on those of us who carry health insurance, those of us who can get it, are seeing it increase the cost of it by 17% on the premium. So what we wanted to do was to lower that cost on people. And we do that by bringing in more people, because those people who don't have health care, we end up paying for them anyway through higher premiums. So we need to cover more people. And when we do that, then people get healthier. You know, by repealing this, it would be wrong. What has Van Tran done in Sacramento? He voted against coverage of children with pre-existing conditions. He voted against controls on health insurance rate increases. So he voted against a worker's right to see his or her doctor. Here, on those of us who carry health insurance, those of us who can get it, are seeing it increase the cost of it by 17% on the premium. So what we wanted to do was to lower that cost on people. And we do that by bringing in more people, because those people who don't have health care, we end up paying for them anyway through higher premiums. So we need to cover more people. And when we do that, then people get healthier. You know, by repealing this, it would be wrong. What has Van Tran done in Sacramento? He voted against coverage of children with pre-existing conditions. He voted against controls on health insurance rate increases. So he voted against a worker's right to see his or her doctor. And he voted against rebates and discounts for the cost of prescription drugs. What would he do if he goes to Washington? Repeal it. But we want people to be healthy, and that's why I voted for it.
Assemblyman Tran, your response?
Well, I love it with the teleprompter, and now we got the campaign talking points coming out. Obviously, there are both sides, or at least two sides to every story, Congresswoman. So I suggested that you do your homework and research a little more as to why these bills were not passed, and the governor vetoed it. But look at the health care reform package in which the Congresswoman voted for. By the slimmest margins, by bribes, by kickbacks. There's all kinds of issues related and problems related to this health care reform package.
Okay, Congresswoman Sanchez, K-12 education in the United States receives billions of dollars from the federal government every year. With those dollars, though, come standardized tests. Many teachers complain that they have to teach to the test at the sacrifice of teaching the arts and developing critical thinking skills. What can be done to cut down on the bureaucracy and mandates and empower teachers to teach?
You know, my mother was an immigrant to this country from Mexico. And after raising 7 children and putting them all through college, she went back to college herself at age 45. And she became a public school teacher in the classroom for 19 years. And you know, she always says that the first educator of a child is the parent. But she was in that classroom and she loved it. My mom was creative. It was just amazing. I mean, I see kids now, grown-ups with jobs and everything, who tell me, your mom taught me. I was in your mom's class. And yeah, No Child Left Behind, which was put up by Bush, is difficult to do. It is difficult. It's taken away a lot of the creativity in the classroom. And that's why we're redoing that law. We tried to do it this year. It's called the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. It's an act that, in fact, holds in it the U.S. and World Education Act. That is mine to allow all different kinds of teaching to happen in the classroom.
Assemblyman Tran.
Education in my family is the topmost priority, and it is actually the key to success. My dad is a renowned educator in our community, also in Saigon, Vietnam as well. Education is the key to success, and I would agree with the Congresswoman that we definitely need to resolve and to fund and to help with our kids. And I'm very happy to share with our neighbors that if you look at the budget, 03, 04, and 08 and 09, funding for education in the state of California has gone up or kept steady. and there is a 25.8% increase in education in the state of California. There are disputes about that, but that's a fact, and we're going to be working hard, and I've already voted on a bipartisan basis to help with the race to the top policy at the federal level as well.
Hey, Congresswoman Sanchez, you can wrap up this question for us.
Okay, so what have we done? What have we done? We reformed the student loan package, so you pay less now on interest in the student loan. We've increased Pell Grants so you can go to university. We passed a new GI Bill, which is going to help a lot of families. And what did Tran do? He voted to cut $500 million from K through 12, the public schools, and the teachers called it devastating. He voted to cut $4.3 billion from the community colleges, and he voted to cut $3 billion from Cal State and the University of California system.
We're out of time, Congresswoman. I'd like to thank both candidates. We'll now hear closing remarks from each candidate. We'll begin with Congresswoman Sanchez.
Thank you again, Ed, for inviting me and to be with you this evening. And thank you for the opportunity to share my vision for how we together can meet the challenges facing our community. You know, in this election, you have a clear choice. You can either vote for a failed Sacramento politician who cannot pass a budget, who votes for deep cuts to school funding, and whose idea on health care is just to repeal it, even when we've just begun on the work. His voting record in Sacramento shows that he's a politician who allows his donations from special interests to guide his decisions, not the best interests of the families that he represents. Or you can vote for me, a leader who has created jobs and has made sure that when Sacramento politicians failed our schools this year, that we were able to keep them open and to keep teachers on the job. I have fought for you to have better health care, for cheaper prescription drugs, to make sure our middle class got the tax cuts that they deserved, that businesses have tax incentives they need to hire new workers. So to Richard and to Lydia and to the working men and women of Orange County, this election is for you. I ask for your vote.
Assemblyman Tran.
Well, thank you very much. You know, there you go again, Loretta, with the campaign slogans and all the attacks, and it's very unfortunate. You know, this race, this campaign on our part is a message, a positive message of hope and opportunity for our neighbors. You should be talking about your record, your 14 years of non-presence and ineffective representation here in Central Orange County. It is important to share with our neighbors and our friends that I will bring a new face, a new change and a new tomorrow, so that we can rein in spending from the federal government. We can stop the taxation that Loretta Sanchez has voted for and has supported the liberal majority 97% of the time. Is that what we wanted when the country is heading in the wrong direction?
Thank you. That concludes our presentation of the 47th Congressional District Debate on KOCE and the OC Channel. We'd like to thank our candidates for joining us, Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez and Assemblyman Tran. For the entire KOCE News team, thanks for watching.